Welcome to the meeting. I'd like to excuse John Dorney, who's out. He's probably on some exotic vacation somewhere on a beach or something, but yeah, in Oregon. Okay. All right. First item on the agenda, you guys can all see that, is to, it's kind of bright, it's hard to see up there, is to approve the minutes from June 4th, 2024.
I just read them and I will motion to. Okay.
Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay, we don't have a lot to cover tonight. Mostly want to just cover project status of the bigger MAG projects that we're working on. So I'll go ahead and make that full screen. There you go. And mostly I wanted to go over the Lakeview Parkway project, if you've heard of that one. It's one that we've been working on a lot. We've got JB's been working on the design for that for us. And then right now we're working with property owners on right-of-way. Just taking quite a while. There's 8 or 9 owners we're working with that one.
You want item 5? Is that what it's?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute.
From the airport and then goes up and it stops. Yeah, two done.
So it's actually the Orem project's in blue. And then the Geneva Road widening project's in green. And then Provo has a couple projects they're working on, the Lakeview connector in red, and then in orange is project that they actually just bid out, and Condi Construction was awarded that bid, and so they'll be starting here in the next month or two on utilities for that orange section.
It starts now at the new Provo High School.
I actually found the MAG submittal packet for that was prepared by, let's see, that our MAG funding concept report. I think Sam put this together. There's a map there just showing. I think you just mentioned the airport. There's the airport down there in Provo, and then portions of this are already done in Provo, and then the orange section there is our project.
It's basically just continuity.
Yeah, it's like a regional connector.
It starts at the mall down South Provo. That's where we call it when they go. We want to see where this thing goes, right? And so south of mall, you catch it and then run over. Here's the airport over there, and driving. There's the new Provo High School. And
Yeah.
Then you have to take it to houses. It'll be great.
Yeah, and it's really benefiting Provo to get traffic down into Provo more so than Orem. There'll be residents there that use that, but it's mostly to get a regional connector to the airport there, an alternative to I-15. So I'll jump back to the slides. So we have, there's an issue with Lakeview that we're having with the funding part of it. We were awarded $14.7 million, and the initial estimate from our consultants coming back at 22 million. And so when you subtract out the Orem portion that we're going to pay for our utilities, and then MAG will pay 93% of that cost to the contractor, or it includes the consultant and all the costs for the project. And then Orem will have a 7% match for the project. So when you take out those costs, it's more like a shortage of $5 to $6 million. That's what that shows right there. So I'll make this bigger again. So I think John might have talked about this last time, but what we're trying to do is review all of our projects and help coordinate with MAG and UDOT to come up with that difference and see if we can either delay projects, postpone them, or get rid of them to come up with that amount.
With the Olympics, federal funds will come. Have you considered looking at
It is what, 2034. It's so far away. I don't know if,
that? Because you have to have everything ready for 2034.
yeah.
So, like they're doing things with the freeway and with front runner. There's dollars.
Yeah, it is an option. Yeah, if we have to delay it. But we're trying to work with MAG and UDOT. UDOT also has about a $7 million shortage on theirs. So in total, if you combine the two, we're closer to $13 million short on. And that's looking at that map we just showed a minute ago. That's the green project and the blue. If you combine those together, so we're working with MAG to try and come up with that to lessen the blow to MAG to help with that shortage.
The biggest cost working with the landowners, negotiating price, or is it materials have gone up in price, or is it relocating utilities?
I think
Or is it
it's
just
a
all
little
three?
bit of everything. Yeah. Right away is always a moving target. It's hard to, we have an estimate in there for that, but it's always just negotiation with the property owners and working through issues. And then inflation does impact the costs. And then some unforeseen things that trying to work through with, we didn't know where the groundwater level was and the soil conditions. And so we're getting all this data back and trying to account for these. And then we did have a meeting with the contractors, like a pre-design meeting with a consultant, and they brought up some issues with constructability. We're trying to work through those things. So some of the ideas we've had to come up with the shortage to help out with this is 1600 North, the second one here from 12th West to State Street. That's the one you just asked about a minute ago. That is in the design process, and there's $4.5 million available there for right of way, but it's not available to use until 2026. So MAG, it gets kind of complicated, like a shell game that they could move money from other projects forward and then bounce this money back to that other project to delay it. A different project, if some other city or agency is willing to wait a couple of years, or they need to wait a couple of years, they can move money around to make that work. But there is $4.5 million available there that will not be needed to, and this was set aside for right away for that project, but UDOT has been able to find funding for that. So that's part of that.
So they can borrow that and put it on Lakeview. It's kind of what they're gonna do.
That's what we're hoping, yeah, for that one. And then this bottom one here, 12th West Center Street. And I think John has also talked about this one a little bit in the past. It is, let's see, where is it? You guys see this right here? It's kind of hard to see, but this is 1200 West Center Street. It would,
That full street.
yes. Well, I'll zoom in here. It's kind of hard to see there, but the purpose of this project was you've got events at UVU, and there's no easy way to get in and out of there when you're coming off of the Parkway. So the thought was to put a dedicated turn lane in. If you look at on the south side of the road, Back to infinity screen. If you go to the street view of Center and 12th West, oh, no, I'm in Provo. Sorry. Right there. So there's actually 3.8 million dedicated to this project. I'm on the wrong side of the road, but you can see there's there you go. There's a retaining wall there, and so there's also a UDOT detention basin over here by the freeway. So the cost to come through here, redo the retaining wall, to update their basin and put in asphalt, put in that turn lane is $3.8 million. And looking at that with John Dorney and others, we feel like that's one that we could eliminate or move to this project. John was telling about when he had a relative graduate at UVU and he took this route and he said he zipped right around there and he didn't have to wait at all. And it was pretty easy to get from the freeway onto there. There is delay going down 12th south or west. We felt like right here, it's a lot of money to spend just for that.
Yeah,
That's something that it's really needed.
Well, we could always do it later,
Yeah.
but I think right now we're just trying to find ways to help fund this other project. So that's something.
That's what we talked about, basically getting off the freeway, turning right, have the same effect. Big slow.
Yeah.
Your delay is 12th West during busy hours, just north. I got caught in that the other day. Yep. It was a mile back. It's a mess. But this has nothing to do with it. This wouldn't help out.
Yeah.
So which projects, the 1600 north and the 1200 west center. Is that enough
$8
money
million
to-
bucks there.
So that gets you 8 million. And our shortage is 5 to 6. And then we're also short on the roundabout. You can see there about 1.5 to 2.5 million.
Just because it's been so problematic.
Why don't we just give up on that one? How many years has that been going?
But the whole time I've been on this meeting, we talked about that. So.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I actually just got an email from the church asking about they've been negotiating a cost for 4 or 5 stalls they're losing to get compensated for those. So we had an agreement that was signed by the city, then it went to the church for final signature and approval, and then they came back with, hey, we want to be compensated for these stalls we're losing. So then it reopened to that back and forth negotiation again. And then UVU had some concerns with it. They're thinking it was too big. And so John was meeting with a guy named Ron Mortimer and UVU and coordinating the size of the roundabout. And he feels like they have a good compromise there where they've shrunk it down a little bit. And so that's where we're at with that. Yeah, it was more on the UVU side that we decreased the size of the lane on the, is that Willie Way, Wolverine Way right there?
What brought about the need for this? Because I drove through that intersection 10 times a week. It's never crowded or super busy. I mean, there's a few cars
The roundabout?
around it.
Just at busy times, morning, and students are getting there or something.
I don't know.
I think the studies, they did the studies and stuff like 6 years ago. literally.
I think part of it is it has 5 legs, so it's kind of an
Yeah,
odd
It is really,
configuration.
that is making it bigger than it's all. What's the problem? Just traffic back up.
Yeah, I think it works, functions better. Part of it is typically on a roundabout, you want it to deflect coming into it. And there's a couple legs that roundabout that are just, people are coming into it way too fast. So it's not it's more of a safety thing. And they shoot through.
That's, making it bigger is not gonna slow people down.
Well, part of making it bigger is you deflect the entrance coming in, so it actually curves. There's different options, yeah. So
No, I'm serious, that I don't see a need for it being enlarged. That's, I mean, I go at different times during the day, about 10 times a week.
go through there
Mornings,
pretty often.
Yeah, 'cause I'm literally close to it. To go places. And I just don't understand why it's needed to be.
Who originally?
Where did this come from?
Yeah, what started all of this? Who asked for it?
The city had concerns, as I recall. They did traffic studies and found that it was warranted. That's my memory of
And I think it backs up to University Parkway and high people for students
Yeah.
and blocking that. Oh, that.
it. And it's very close. It's true, it's very close to traffic.
Well,
Traffic
lots
backs up
of
from
parking
the,
lot.
from the traffic circle back to University Parkway.
I've never seen that.
That's what I remember the report.
Well, don't worry, it won't be done for a couple more years now.
Well, what's the total cost of the project? It says 1.7.
3.8.
John's been looking at similar roundabouts for cost because he's working with Horrocks to get an updated cost estimate, and he's saying it's between 3 and 4 million.
So 6 years ago, it was 1.8 when this project started.
Yeah,
So
it's-
1.5.
Pretty hard to nail down an estimate when it's that far apart with how many years it takes to.
So maybe perhaps this point. How can we go back and look at the original report, or the original, like to see if I wanted to figure out why did this start, what did they say under the traffic study? Where do we find that?
Is there a file on this project? There should be a file.
Yeah, there was a file. I think John could help us with that. When he was at Horrocks, he was actually working on this project. So, and then he come to the city. So that's something we
I
could.
don't want to be the person that like throws a wrench in something that's been in the works for 6 years.
Um,
I also think there is merit.
If it's
Well,
warranted, then.
I also think there's merit in saying, is this still warranted? But if we don't even know why it was warranted in the first place, then we're not very judges of that.
Yeah, part of it's the growth, and John's been a lot more involved with that than I have been. But I know that the speeding through it has been an issue.
How many accidents?
I don't have that data, but we can look that up.
But take that money and go widen Center Street. Center Street from
That's
6:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
it.
It's a nightmare. But.
There's a lot of projects that need to be done. Yeah.
You give all that money to the foreign traffic. This committee. Be happy with anything.
We could.
Okay, and then let's see, we've talked about most of these. 1150 South is one that, are you guys familiar with that one? Let me go there. That's one we're thinking of.
What's that little funny one that goes from the mall over and the wrong place?
By the Trader Joe's.
No, yeah.
This is one we would also eliminate. It's been years and nothing's happened.
Yeah, we want to.
So what-
By the Trader Joe's. We talked about this last meeting.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's-
So it would take the intersection and
Yeah.
it would bring the road down and wrap down and connect to 12th South, and then this road here would be eliminated.
I think we all, my recollection of last meeting was we all thought that was one thing where the money could be diverted to something more pressing.
It works fine.
So that's what that one is. And then the 1600 North 400 East intersection, just to give you an update on that. What was that?
I didn't know we had any
Oh.
funding, so.
Yeah, it's between, I think we've used some of that, but since this was created for design, so I think it's between 1 and 1.4 million. But we have over $1 million on that one.
Is it out for design right now? Or we can talk about doing sort of street level improvements on the intersection and then later trying to fund for the tunnel?
It's not currently out for bid or design, but we're working through that. So
I requested time today for a very simple help. So, wait, I didn't get on the agenda. Probably John didn't show that, but I would like just a minute when you're done. What do I propose to help with that intersection?
this one, do you want to go now?
She's got 10 million.
Do you want to go now? You got a donor? Sure. Yeah, go ahead. We're going to talk about it right now.
Well, you know, we've talked this intersection to death. We all walk, many of us walk it, bike it, or whatever. I had a near-death experience there, so I'm really invested in it. And so we have our really expensive solutions, and they're great, but we don't have the money for them. They're going to be years away. What can we do today, right now, probably for under $1,000? I have a proposal. When you approach, if you're in a car and you're going north to south or south to north on 4th East, and you approach that intersection, there's no signage to tell you that you're going to cross a major trail. Nothing to warn you. That's one thing, but that's not my main proposal. When you get there, you've got a left turn lane, you've got 2 traffic signals. And north and south, it goes from red to green. So they're sitting there in that left lane and they're going to make their left turn. Either going west or they're coming south and they're going to go east. So they're sitting there. And I have done this informal study, watching their eyes. About 2 out of 3 people will look left. 1 out of 3 will never look left. They're looking at that car that's approaching him, you know, that car is going to hurt them. So that's what they're focused on. They're not focused on that poor little lady crossing the crosswalk, or school kids or bikers or whatever. So they're looking straight ahead. The light turns green and they take off.
Is it a green arrow or just?
No, it's just green. It's just a green light. So they've got a green light. So they've got to worry about the guy coming toward them. Yeah, they got to yield, but they don't look left. And I've done this study of eyes, and it's about 1 in 3. And they just take their turn. And that's about the time you've made it to that spot on the sidewalk that they're going to get you. And we've had all sorts of reports of near misses, hospitalizations. There have been serious head accidents up there, mangled bicycles, all sorts of things. And that's why we started all of this project. But my goal is to get those people to look left before they turn. So I propose that we hang from there, the 2 lights. I want this hung underneath the left, the light that's right in front of it. So it could look like this, or it could look like this, and it'll catch your eye a little better. Or my favorite, these are flashing red lights.
Oh, I like
It
that.
could look like this, and just say, look left for pedestrian crossing.
Like maybe it's, let's see, for the bus or the front one or something that's got a lane on your left.
Yeah,
It's reminding you.
yeah,
This is
it's
okay.
just look left.
One of the things we are doing, and Taylor Forbush works at Public Works, he's over traffic signal maintenance. He's already purchased, well, he's created a PO to purchase flashing signs. We'll say, look, something like look for pedestrians. He's gonna put them right up on the mast arm. They'll activate and they'll flash. They'll be up on the mast arm. So that is something that he is
How about a green arrow?
planning to do.
Left turn on green arrow. So the pedestrian waits until people have all turned left and then they can.
Yeah,
that would
You'd have to
stop.
read.
Pedestrians don't
Let's see.
always.
My
Yes, but
question,
they're on the-
$500 or less for
Left
that.
turn.
You can have the sign shot or you.
but we can also look at signs in advance on the road as you're approaching. So
Yeah,
that's
you
another,
really need something.
Yeah.
Caution major trail crossing.
Yeah.
Because right now, and when Fourth East goes up, you know how it turns? And then you go up the hill. You don't see that intersection until you turn. and-
so have you guys seen this concept? This is one that was created by JUB.
Oh, yeah, we have.
And they did one where we took away all right turn pockets
Uh-huh.
and Craig Frank come and presented to the city council, and there wasn't a lot of good feedback for that at that. It was a work session. I don't know if you were there, Jeff, on that one, but and we've done projects in the city where we add right turn pockets because it gets so bad that people are waiting to go through and right. So the feedback there is just, it's not a good idea to take away all the right turn lanes. But we did look at the traffic counts and they're very low for this movement on the south leg. And we feel like this is one of the major crossings is the south side here for the trail. And
Well,
so,
the place the right turners get you is they're headed south, turning right and going west. They will clip you every time.
so you're talking about right here,
No.
Oh,
Above.
I mean, go up. See.
right
see,
here.
They're coming south. on
And turning
14th,
west,
and they're
okay.
Right onto 16. Those guys will get you every time.
And so this concept,
They complain they don't see you because of all that electrical stuff there.
yeah,
We were talking about it in a meeting with a resident and she says, you just don't see the people standing there because of all of that stuff until you get there and then they kind of do a California stop and they don't look right. So, yeah, that's a very dangerous spot.
yeah, it is.
Felt the most ill at ease or where I saw the pedestrian get hit and have to go to the hospital. And where the young boy that was from my elementary school that was miraculously lived, but had to go to the hospital. It is not that crossing this way, it's the north-south crossing on the south side.
And-
On the
Across
west,
On the west side, sorry,
west side.
crossing north-south, that's the one
This one.
feels the most.
That's what most students take. Yeah, and that is really dangerous. And those people, don't look like,
So that's the right turn, but it's also, the guy that I saw hit, it was the left turner that wasn't looking for a pedestrian. I don't know if the boy from my elementary school was a left turn or a right turn.
Yeah.
But it was a turn.
that's what my sign says look like. I didn't look right. Guys, let's handle one thing at a time.
Yeah, I,
Look left,
I'm glad that Taylor's already put in an order for that. I think I support this idea that would help
Yeah,
in the
I
interim.
really like Kathy's design.
you know.
yeah, get that made of
Take a
metal.
photo and they can
We'll laminate that and
like this, hang it up. I've been so tempted. She was like, I wonder if I could make a sign and I could get up there and hang it, but nobody catch me. Because it's just, it's so simple. We can do it right now. Wait for your funding, but you can do something right now.
And I think that approaching a trail sign is a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give them lots of warnings.
taking notes, Cheryl.
Presentations. Thank you.
So for, just a clarifying question, if you wanted to also add, are you saying, Becky, to also add signs on 400 East in both directions? A little bit in front of the intersection that say.
That's what I was saying.
I'd say all directions.
Yeah, just approach on the trail, right up trailhead or something.
Yeah, Murdoch Trail
But
crossing.
you don't want a long
Crossing.
sign though. It takes too long to read it. Not gonna be-
No, but see, they're approaching.
I
They're
know.
just approaching. And
Just
there's
say
a trail.
Trail crossing.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, and then you have this.
Caution.
And then
Uh-huh.
commercial, right? So there's a graph.
Oh, they're all over there. They are at others intersections with Murdoch Trail. I've seen.
Right.
Because, you know, a lot of them, you come up, if there's no signal there, you don't know there's a trail there. You're just whipping up the road and all of a sudden, you got bikes coming at you, that they will have signs. Yeah,
Like speed bumps.
I hate it, but that would solve the problem.
Yeah, yeah, it would slow them down.
yeah,
Yeah, we need to speak on this too.
So yeah, that's a great idea with the signs.
So
So
those things in the road are just rattles. It's not speed bump.
Uh,
it's
rumble strips.
to,
yeah, like a rumble.
oh, in Japan, I have to tell you, they got the greatest road. That gravel of that cut plays organ music when you drive over it. As you drive, it sounds like an organ playing. As you go along, it is the coolest thing. Then it wakes people up.
Yeah,
So
It's
could the
creative.
kids committee ask Taylor to also look at, we're not, trail crossing signs.
The signs.
Just-
yeah, we can look at it, yeah.
And put a time frame on it too. They could go to committee and go to this committee. and-
My goal is January 1, 2025. I'm serious. I think by January 1, we can have the signs in place. Because if you talk this today,
So why do you make it October 1st or October 30th?
well, I'm being realistic.
I am, it can pass through fast if we motivate city council.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy fix. I mean, it sounds like something that's.
It's an easy fast.
Yeah,
It sounds like we're already on it. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, you do.
Something like this. Notice the color.
Trail crossing. Yeah,
Bright yellow, Xing, you don't even have to read CROSS. It's just very crack.
as a bicyclist about got it the other day. Of course, bicyclists do not cross with the light.
No, in fact, that's one of the things that, in that work section, they had a video
Video,
of that intersection, and it wasn't just cars, it was pedestrians, it was
Yeah.
bikes, it was
Yeah. They-
like
oh,
chaos,
it was
you
just-
know?
Yeah,
Everyone just had.
there was a pickup. I'm walking south and there's this pickup coming and he's, it's a good clip. And then I hear this honk, and I turned around and a biker was going east to west on that north side against the light. This guy had a green light, but see, he didn't see him until he got up there. So he's going over, hit his brakes, honked, and this biker's going, you got hit that guy.
For the 2930 Bryan of safety supply warehouse got pulled.
sounds like a good deal.
He's a.
Kathy, I'll send you the link. Go buy it.
And so-
Sanitary.
So
Somebody gave
some
me-
of the problem too is the signage. We need to get signage, but it's also the users of the trail
Oh, yeah.
need to follow the rules as well.
That's what worries me about the scramble.
Yeah.
Because people don't obey the signs the way they're now. And I'm really worried because that scramble, everybody has to stop. I did the biggest one in the world in Tokyo a couple of times. And nobody runs that thing. Everybody stops. And then when the light turns, it is just pandemonium. Yeah, they are obedient. They are. Yeah, but I'm a little worried about her scramble.
We need to do a site visit to Tokyo, sounds like. Site visit to Tokyo to look at this pet scramble.
Different mindset.
It is correct.
So some of the elements of this design are just to realign the trail, to make it curve, and then to put some shrubs or some type of barrier there, so it makes it harder to cross at an angle. And then the bulb outs, that's these dark lines here, to just realign the curb and gutter so it comes further out so that the crossing distance is decreased. So those are all things, and then it kind of forces them to cross. And these two, instead of right now, you just have chaos with all four trying to cross at the same time. Where this will force users, most of them anyway, to go this way on just these two legs. So
is this our current solution versus the scramble? We're gonna do a scramble, but if we've gone to this,
this is the one that it seems like most people are liking,
Okay.
that's getting the most traction right now is,
Signs, I think will be okay.
yeah, with the signs. So this is just conceptual right now. This could cost anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million, just depending on when you take into account all the design and construction and all the costs.
What's the timeline on this?
This one right now will just be a temporary, probably in the next year or two. We'd hope to get this in. And then, yeah, so it'd be good to get signs in, like you say, sooner than that. That's a long time. And then the more permanent solution is, you guys have probably seen this with the tunnel
You can do the tunnel or the overpass.
or the bridge. And so it's anywhere from 12 to 15 million, and that would take probably 5 to 7 years to get the funding and start on that.
I'm curious to see if, I'm gonna start calling Kathy sign. You start having Kathy signage and the change in alignment a little bit with a shorter pedestrian crossing with the pole balance, the design you just showed us. If there is going to be any. Or,
That's like a big access.
or if this is going to be enough to make it feel safer.
Yeah, if this worked, I'm looking for the most cost economic solution, cost effective. And so if it worked, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to see this get up and running. I'm not saying like delay funding if the town's really what we need right now. But I would like to see this up and running and then reevaluate if the town was still necessary.
I still think maybe we use some of that Olympic money. They used that Olympic money on really weird things in 2002.
Well, maybe if we have.
Then we'll take money from instead of a bridge, can we call it a loop?
A luge track.
Yes.
Downhill
You could get,
cycling.
Please don't give my take.
you could get these kinds of skiers almost down to Provo on this.
We could get the Olympics to pay for our road and our trail.
Yeah. No, they really pay for it.
Do they?
That's how you got I-15 redone. That's the
The
only way they
Olympics.
have to- And that's how they're going to redo. Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions on any of these projects? The next one we'll look at is the Center Street, Geneva to I-15. That's the $10 million. And so earlier this year, we applied for funding and were awarded through the MAG process. We were awarded this funding. It's not available until, I believe it's 2028. So be a ways out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
So in 4 years, we'll have the money to fix that.
You do need Olympic money for that because they're coming out of I-15. They're going to cross at Center, catch University to get down to Peaks. You do need that improved for the Olympics.
So this is,
They'll improve all sorts of things. 1600 North needs to be improved because they need to get the mouth of the canyon to go south and north. You need it. Who do we know who gets it? I am really serious. There is money. They just throw that money around there. We need to be catching some.
do you know who to contact?
I ran the Peaks doping in 2002. You know, that's how I've just heard all sorts of money. Yeah.
So this is a layout put together by Avenue for the Center Street project. And it includes improvements to the railroad crossing right here. As
This isn't gonna be shovel ready because of money for another
It's 4 more
4 years.
years.
I thought they were almost
See, I believe there's 1 to 2 million right now that we have available, but it's gonna cost a lot more than that. So, and then moving on to the Lakeview Parkway project. Did want to show you here's the typical cross section for that. Yes. So the west side will have that was a modified, it'll have a 12-foot trail, multi-use path, park strip, and you have shoulder bike lane, and then 5 lanes, the median in the middle, and 110 feet of right of way. That's our typical section through that area on
So
Parkway.
it's not a protected bike lane, is it? Some of them you'll have the bike lane, and then there's a strip so that people can't run into the bikes. And I would have thought they would have done that.
Protected bike in there would be really fabulous, because cars would be going at high speed.
Yeah. that's
Yeah.
why they did.
It's not protect with the median, but I believe they put a double stripe there and kind of a buffer to separate them.
I'm just.
I don't ride my bike on the street, so
Bikers
those bikers that love to get on the
Sticks or armadillos or other things that,
those won't stop a car either, but
but they let a car.
At least they'll-
there.
yeah.
It's just the visual cues, right? Striping is awesome, yay for the green lane.
I wonder if
But
they
if you're
can do
visual,
that.
visual cue to the drivers.
What is the actual distance of that section that the Orem has? Like,
And does our
The-
section match up with what
Is
Provo's doing?
it 2 miles long? Is it half a mile?
The bikers should then take that, once they get smart.
Let me measure that for you. See, here's Provo section. So it's from 15 south to 2000 south. So however long 5 blocks is half a mile, yeah.
Is our design matching what Provo's doing? So,
They're actually doing a narrower section. They're going to widen out later. They're only doing like 2 or 3 lanes.
but we're doing 5, so we don't have to. Project.
We don't have to buy the homes on either side.
We're hoping to do 5, and then the striping will narrow down to match theirs, and then when they widen, they'll have to match our width.
And that's all it is right there, 5 miles.
Yeah,
And it's costing how many?
22 million. So
well, they have to buy this from.
that includes right of way. Yeah, there's quite a bit of right of way that we're trying to purchase there. So
No,
if I zoom in there, if you're to take 110 feet off of this property, then there's a fence line here. It's basically from fence line here over to this property line here.
so that farmer doesn't want to sell.
Over here? No. Well, he actually owns this Cherry Hill Dairy Farm. He owns this piece over here and this as well. So he actually uses this dirt road right here to access his farm, which is going to be cut off. And so I've been working with him to try and figure out how he's going to get access across there.
So for 15 million, he can dig a tunnel.
Underneath.
Yeah. We have a concept that we can show. And so here is that same owner we're actually working with because it's kind of hard to see there, but the light purple line here is an existing stormwater line that we have going through his field. It's a 24-inch. It's called the Taylor Drain. In our outlet right here to Utah Lake, where it's open pipe ditch to the lake from here.
What is that drain?
It's an open ditch.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, sorry, storm drain.
There's all sorts of stuff.
Downstream.
Yeah. I would do. No wonder Utah Lake's so pleasant.
So we're working with this owner. We're hoping to realign that, and this new pipe will be a 60-inch line. And then we'll need to get an easement from him. With this dark purple line here will be the new alignment of that Taylor drain line. And so this is just a layout from the consultant with, he's got all the utilities in there, the striping and everything. Then there is the 60% or the 90% plan set from JUB. He's been working on this with us. Any more questions on the Lakeview Parkway? So that was all I had for MAG projects. And then are there any other items that you have to bring up? This was the last item on the agenda is other items.
What's the update on the 1200 West crosswalk to get
You're building that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cement work's all done, and I haven't been there today.
Actually they put steel up either yesterday or today.
So it'll be functional for the start of school.
We're hoping it is. Yeah, they're supposed to be done in August. So
I mean, school starts next week, so. that's-
probably not, but we're
Cool.
trying.
Catching people off guard. People hitting their brakes when they realize, because that bump out, it doesn't leave you much of a lane. And, yeah, it really slows.
You're talking about the concrete, the islands.
It's in the center, and it also comes out the side, so you have to make it as good as lane. I mean, it's an adequate lane, but it's not what we're used to. We go to Holiday World to get my husband's tree, but I get his tree. So I am very
Now we
familiar
know.
with that street and that spot.
Down there on 8th North or Holiday Oil
You know, it's
Or
on
12.
16.
or the other way. Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of near the
Yeah.
freeway.
Okay.
What about Fort West, Fort South, big storage tank? When's that gonna, the road gonna be open? 400 South.
It's gonna go into next year, so they'll be going all through next
We're
year.
looking at Olympic money for that, so.
Yeah.
Olympics. That's the answer to everything. 2034.
Somewhere.
For that last year, it was amazing. Go down inside.
Oh, did you go in the tank?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
We thought we needed our code use, but there was no water.
Is it like just a big room?
I was pillars.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that's down there. Well, I guess it's not technically transportation.
It's
It's
affecting
the
our
road.
street, so
That's
it
why the
is
road is
transportation.
It is, but it's.
Didn't they say one night of traffic would be open to China?
For the school, we're trying to get that in by end of the fall, like October.
It's vast.
Does it feel like a parking garage? Is that what it feels like?
20 million gallons.
And-
10 million.
But it's more claustrophobic than that.
Really?
There's no,
No
like,
windows,
there's
huh?
a couple of little staircases. And then it's just cement walls all the way around and pillars. And it's huge. Yeah, it's.
That's what 20 million gallons of water looks like.
Yeah.
Did you want to see it?
I stood by
I got a picture. That is
It's
really
like
interesting.
white.
Yeah.
People calling in your dogs.
I'm glad I could come and be here. I had some pictures that we took a tour to. I couldn't find them, but It's really cool. It took a lot of, you're down in there and it's just massive. You got these giant pillars. How many pillars were there? He said 100 or
120.
over 100.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's really cool.
How tall, how deep is this?
It's 20 something feet, I think. Feet in the,
That's a tank. Seems like it's a lot deeper than that. I grew up when the road was still open a while.
yeah, it was a lot deeper to get in the base and to build up the foundation. It's more than 20, yeah, to get to the bottom of it. Inside, it's about 20 to 22, I think.
Got 6 turns on the scaffolding.
So the pillars.
How much? There's a lot, yeah.
Okay. So that there's a cement pour on top.
And they had scaffolding and jacks and a bunch of supports to pour the roof, and then they peel off the forms. All that's pretty cool.
And the echo is. I had to yell while I was saying that. It literally went on and on.
And when they turn the saws on, it's really loud.
Yes,
Make that
yeah.
clear.
Just a quick update for you, for another item is we do have $5,000 in our budget for bike racks. So we met with Bike Orem recently at City Center Park and at Sierra Park. We picked out like 2 or 3 locations here and then 3 or 4 at Sierra. We're actually doing a concrete project at Sierra now, the city is, to widen the road for a potential future, for access from the east parking lot to the Sierra entrance, and then also for a future, the train, I guess they're gonna take the train around and do like a loop around the Sierra, like they'd do out here. So they're redoing the sidewalk, and then in addition to that, we asked them if they could put in 2 or 3 like small pads next to the walk in different locations for bike racks. And then Bike Arm has volunteered to help install them as well, so that'll be a good thing.
How do you request bike racks from the city? Like, they've just redone Northridge Park. It's not officially open yet because of planning on the price structure. I know they're gonna do pickleball courts that are on the tennis courts or something. But there's no bike racks. I was like, how do you request? It seems like we're just redone this whole park. Why didn't you put a bike racks? How do
We
you
could
ask?
add it into we haven't bid that out yet. We could add that into the design.
You think
That would be awesome. It'd be helpful.
maybe it's.
Everyone and everybody wants to try.
Northridge.
Northridge Park.
Yeah, we're gonna do I haven't seen the concept in a while, but I think we were gonna do half tennis, half pickleball. So there's 2 tennis now, and they were gonna add in a brand new
I don't
courts.
know if you really don't want kids finding out, but the sign that says park closed would be fully ignored.
Oh, playing on the playground equipment.
Once I mean, even before the wood chips went in, but once the wood chips went in, I was like, this is a lost cause. Like, the park is ready to go.
And we want to like rambles.
I mean, I know they're not like letting you reserve the building and stuff like that. But they had already done some concrete work, and that's what I thought. Anyway, so that would be great.
Make sure and I'll pass that on to the design engineer.
There's a couple that are going to Sarah.
Or just. That'd be great, thank you.
Yeah, we have $5,000, so that doesn't get us very far, but I think it'll help with, there's a lot of people coming out here. Olympics? Olympics.
That's where I know.
All right, anything else? Right.
I second that.
Second that. All in favor? All right, thank you.
It's been fun watching my forum. So involved in so many things. and their bike ballets.
Act to like that,
It's-
the farmer's market.
So they did it during Summerfest. You could ride your bike to the park, and they would give you a wristband.